All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another fantastic Age of Mythology tournament stream, or part two of two. This will be hopefully the last part of this grand finals tournament here between Nullus and Kimo. It is a little bit stormy outside, so I have a girl named Ava on my lap right now, so she will lie here with me while we watch the next game of this match. So we are tied up right now. Number 5 here on Marsh. Okay, so we have picked Marsh, which is a Kimo home map. Kimo picked Marsh because he lost the previous match, and he has gone with, well, first we've got a Loki sighting here. We have Norse. I did not think we would see any Norse in this series, and here we are. Nullus with Norse. I don't know how good Nollus's Norse is. Oh, and I don't know if he will be able to win with his Norse here. But it's nice to see Norse because it's been a minute for any of that. So cool to see Norse. Let's get my resources on the screen. And that is Nullus on the right. On the left is Kimo with Set. And we have Loki versus Set on Marsh. I can understand both picks here. So Kimo picks Marsh to go with Set because Set is really good on Marsh because of all the animals. Kimo has also very importantly gotten a pig converted before the Ulfsark came in to start attacking him. He's also going forward with the pharaoh named James, who is maybe looking to get some really good relics, potentially. So for relics, we've got Ship of Fingernails, which is 24 free 24 free food a minute. Tail of Cerberus, myth units have shorter recharge time for their special attack. That can be good, but likely not. Bow of Artemis is archers cheaper, so not helpful at all for the Norse, but is good for your set, for your archers. You like little storms and not big storms. And if you're wondering, you're tuning in late, I have an Ava on my lap because it's storming outside, and she does not like thunderstorms. So she is here as my co-commentator. Cuter than my other co-commentator. Perhaps even more knowledgeable about age mythology as well. So, yeah. The special attack, good relic for fire giants. Yeah. Though I will say, the fire giant special attack, if not properly used, isn't super great. It probably actually does less damage than a normal attack. It just all depends on the positioning of the fire giant and the target. But that could be a long time from now. Nice to get on this house. He may kill this house. He's got 2 boar ramming away at it. Would they say ramming? Tusking? Mauling the house? And that'll be annoying as the Norse here if this... Don't touch that. Oh yeah, I will set up the tablet tonight. You just need to be quiet and sleep. Alright, let's go to sleep. And okay, he will be able to stop this, so it's just kind of annoying, and he'll react appropriately. If I'm set here, yeah, I try to go up for a quick age up, and you could consider potentially shifting on top of the enemy hunt and preventing Hersier from being trained. Though I don't know if he's doing that. Where is he going with these? There, what are you trying to do? Do I turn the other way? Is he grabbing this town center? Okay. Well, I know you're not going to sleep on me, regardless. Just once we're done with this game, I'll put you back in your bed. Wow, this is very brave to get this town center. Very brave indeed. So he can get it and have access to a lot of hunt. So the play here from the Loki isn't really to prevent hunt. Oh, these villagers are wide open. He may end up just shifting these villagers home to a safer place. Like you could almost just shift all of this to here and be fine. Or right there. Oh, he even garrisoned. Right away, didn't lose anything. This troll could be annoying though and just sit here. But yeah, what you do here as the Loki is a semi-quick heroic, and with the timing that you can hit, there certainly is the potential of raising this town center with a pretty quick flaming weapons. And that's the scary part of grabbing this town center. Oh, don't hunt yourself. I will say though that the building of the raiding cavalry here probably not needed. Though with the axemen coming out, maybe you do want a few because axemen kind of destroy Herseer. Don't want to lose your Herseer here though. Oh, tried the building block. Is it Crossin? Crokin? Croc in? Backaches and AOM. I'm doing great. I have a distressed child on me right now. Yeah, there's certainly the opportunity for a timing push here. Or the other thing is to kind of ignore this and just go for a gold block. There's enough hunt here for Nullus to age up with if he goes down to this hunt. Yeah. But the set here could maybe consider going a little bit more aggressive, which is what he's doing. But yeah, I don't know if you really want to go out like this though, with just, there's so much food and favor in all of these animals. You really don't want the Norse, don't want to lose your Herseer like this though. Got this priest, not any axemen though, but killed a lot of animals, which that's a lot of favor for Nullus. That'll be helpful later on. But like to me right now, Nullus likely should stop building units. Don't throw units away like he just did here. I mean, that's 90 resources or something like that, just tossed for nothing. And Nullus should age up. Now, aim for that 10-minute timing attack. He's got enough units to do what he needs to do. Trying to fight this isn't going to work out. Because also what Nullus doesn't want to do is make too many buildings and run out of hunt. I don't know if you just want to... There's so many low hit point Norse units here. And will he get on the Pharaoh? No, Pharaoh hides. I just think that this is always such a good trade for the Egyptian here. Because he's at 2 town centers, what does he really care if he loses extra villagers in these attacks? And yeah, this was disastrous for the Loki. Yeah, not good. You just, the play here from the Loki is just to harass and keep busy, but not actually get into any fights. You don't want any head-up fights. You want to age up, go to heroic, and flatten this. But Nullus just isn't doing it quite right. Lost too many units there. Okay, you just run around. You get these guys idle. You come over here, get these guys idle, come back and forth. You know, run circles a little bit with your more mobile army. But you don't want to get into a full-on fight, because that will just benefit the Egyptian here in this situation in the classical age. Husbandry and hunting dogs. Pickaxe, husbandry, hunting dogs. Could maybe use some throwing axemen here. I mean, we've got a pure infantry-based army from Kimo. We can see Kimo's already about taking the score lead, and Kimo is going to... Nullus can't fight this, because he lost too many units already, and like half of this army is healed up already. So yeah, Kimo just come back and forth and keep this busy. Kimo might be seeing these villagers running out. But for me, Kimo doesn't... You don't really want to attack this as Kimo. You're happy just to stay in here and be up 2 town centers to 1 for an extended time period. Yeah, we're seeing like medium cavalry come in. And Nullus is definitely committing to this classical age, and it's just not gonna... I don't see it working out. Maybe it will. I don't see it though. This Pharaoh, just so much damage too. 14 attack. 14 attack in the heroic age is a gigantic amount of attack. A very valuable unit to keep alive. And you got to keep your slingers slinging on the throwing axemen. This whole path blocking choke point here is very good for Kimo to fight in. These units should have just stayed back here. Don't want to lose your Pharaoh. Oh, we lost him. But there's just so few red units here. And yeah, this fight is just going very well for Kimo. And just not the way to play against Egyptian in this matchup. And yes, you're right, Raptor. The Norse, I mean, really, it's kind of like that for any fight for Norse. Is Norse need to be able to take advantage of mobility. And if they aren't taking advantage of mobility, they're going to lose fights. Like, generally, Norse loses to Greek in classical fights, and Norse will lose to Atlanteans in classical fight. The only way to get around that is for mobility, picking off units, dictating where the fights happen at because of those more mobile units. But here, Nullus just didn't play the Norse that way, and it probably speaks really to his inexperience with Norse. Nullus is certainly not a Norse main. So he's having a hard time here with that. The reason is because I streamed the first part like a week ago, and it's a best of 9, and there's no way I can get 9 games in. A 630 classical is too risky because the set can... Oh, this one guy had 1 hit point left. The set can shift. You have to go for a fast age up. But again, now, this is not a fight Nullus probably wants to take. This is really good positioning, actually, by Kimo to hop into the town center. And we can see Kimo is just aged up to heroic age here. Would like to see Kimo get some barracks upgrades. But certainly, the way to win here is that 9-10 minute push with flaming weapons. And you can accomplish that. Probably closer to 10 minutes. And you could win that fight. There's the potential with that. Kimo has slingers probably because they're so cheap. And what else is he going to do with wood? Though, with him being up almost in heroic age, probably should have laid off a few slingers and went with saved it for chariots. Kimo's got to be careful. Not to, since he is up heroic, I guess he's got... If things ever get too bad, he can just cast Ancestors. But just gotta be careful not to lose all of this before like the chariots start rolling out. Missing a little bit of an opportunity though. Kimo can dictate a little bit here. He's got the hunt here and the gold here. He could get on top of that. I mean, even just casting ancestors right now on up here would be huge. We have Bragi coming in, which is that kind of scary timing where if Nullus can position and get a surround in on this fight, Bragi wins this. Flaming Weapons wins this fight. Use it! Yeah, you can clear all of this. Gotta get us around. Get these guys in on this army that's retreating. Don't chase. Don't chase. Get up here. Get on the army. Ah, you chased too much. He could have path blocked and probably killed all of these. That's a big missed opportunity. Because now, without killing the army, he's not going to be able to quite level the town center. And here's ancestors, which if you got ancestors against flaming weaponed Herseer, that doesn't work out so well. But yeah, he needed to kill these units as they were retreating. There would have been so many fewer units, but he didn't. And now you get the waves of mercenaries, the undead units. We have a nice Einerjar spawn here. Einerjar spawn with gets them up to like 23 attack, flaming weapons in the Einerjar spawn. It's insane. We've got a Frost Giant down here doing a lot of work on all of these villagers. But yeah, this is the timing he needed. This is the timing that he needed to do just earlier. Because now it's just, we've got what? Oh, he doesn't have the Nephthys upgrade. Yeah, he's just not going to kill this town center. But doing a ton of damage, though. This is working better than I thought it would, given how slow he was to get to this spot. Wow, the Pharaoh out of position. This is a big catch here on the Pharaoh. Frost Giant freezing things. We still got slingers. A few slingers, more priests down here. Pharaoh goes down. That's a big catch. Gotta get on these priests. They're almost dead. But we've only got one battle board left. More priests down here. Frost Giant in on the chariots. It's nice to get it on there. We got two. Oh, nice. These units leave. The priests hop back out. Do we have any more? Okay, we have a battle board coming up. Well, it's not just producing mercenaries. The Egyptian is putting in a ton of resources into this defense. On the backside, though, Kimo has 4 town centers right now. At this point, he can kind of lose it and be okay. I mean, mercenaries are expensive. It's not really just, you know, it's not like it's free. Oh, this town center is so close. I don't know if he's going to get it. 15, 30, 20, 10. What is it, like the destroying of the town center and then the retreating out of it thing there? Yeah, see, now there's this huge death ball of chariots. So, you know, you destroy the town center, mutually hunting down here. It's just the timing, the damage was nice by Nullus, but just way too late. Way too late. If we can get this battle board in on this town center, it will be able to slow it down for a while. Get him down, get him down. We got, what, 2 priests? But yeah, just not enough units. Battle board in on the town center. Nope. Battle board retreat. And Nullus, we have 50 villagers to 80. I mean, really, to me, I see it as, given how the initial 10 minutes of the game went, 12 minutes of the game, Nullus really had no business even doing that much damage because he played right into the set's hand for so long. So yeah, the mercenaries, I mean, they're good. They're not free, but certainly they are. They're worth their resources. These villagers here may not be long for this world. This Pharaoh, though, you can't do damage when the Pharaoh's around. Look how much damage he does, even to the battle boy with 60% pierce. He's doing 70 damage a shot. You're thirsty? Oh, you'll have to wait, okay? Because now without the flaming weapons power, how does Nullus ever achieve anything anymore? You know, he's way out popped. The death ball of chariots can kind of defend anywhere. Going at this town center again, but still got to get this priest. Oh, we have, this is the big one. Plus 400% Pharaoh and priest damage against smith units. That's the big one there. Would like to see Masons get researched by Kimo. That's such a huge technology against Norse. Really, as such a huge technology whenever your town centers are getting attacked. It does so much for your town center. And that's the game right there. GG. Yeah, it's a decision-making game. Well played to Kimo. I mean, what he did by taking this town center is he put Nullus in a bit of a hard spot. Because what does he do? You know, Kimo has now taken this town center right in front of my base. What do I do against that? And Nullus went for just a little bit too much aggression. And lost that window for timing. Like, if this flaming weapons attack is 3 minutes sooner, it's a potential different result. Maybe. It's still a tough matchup. It's not like an easy win. But certainly what he did, it was just took too long. And by that time, even though the town center ultimately got destroyed, couldn't win the position. We'll take a look at the resources. There we can see he's ahead. What? Is the what down here? Yes. I'm not gonna do beads. It's gonna be time for bed now, okay? She's not ready for bed. She's with me because it was storming, but it's no longer storming now. So it is going to be time for bed. Yeah, you can see the big power spike. Like, you can look at the kill-death ratio. Killed a lot of units. That's with the flaming weapons. Check the weather? I will. But it's just too far behind it economically. I mean, the amount of damage you have to do to overcome this resource deficit. I mean, what are we looking at? 32 to 26. I mean, he's 8,000 resources down to an Egyptian who should be behind anyway. And then at the end of the game, 35, you know, it's still a lot. Yeah, I think though, Raptor, from watching these expert games over the time that I've been doing it and casting tournament matches, most games really do come down to decision making and strategy. It's not really micro. Most best players are kind of pretty even on their micro. And it's generally decision making and strategy. Like, really balance kind of dictates what they choose, maybe to some extent, like the gods. But the reality is, and players hate to admit this, but for the vast majority of games, balance is never what decides the game. It's always one player playing better than the other, and typically it's mostly just strategy, tactics, and decision making, which we kind of saw here. Anyway, I will be back in a minute or 3. I'm going to put Ava to bed. Can you say bye? Say bye. She will not say bye. She's too sleepy. So give me... Yes, no one ever complains about their own decision making. Nobody ever lost because they deserved to lose. They lost because of some other thing. Bad map, bad balance, wasn't feeling good. It could not be because I played worse. So, all right, I'll be back in a minute or 3, and we'll go on to game number 3 in 2 hours. All right, well, thank you, Raptor. I mean, you have no idea. Maybe in the other room, I just really gave it to her, and well, now come out of your room again. You have no idea. All right, should be able to see the game. We are into game 6. Game 6. This will be Nullus's home map again. I have got a text. Now who's texting me? These people need to leave me alone. Mediterranean. Alright, so Nullus going with Mediterranean, pulling out his Zeus. Zeus for Nullus in the blue, really wanting to get a win here. And we've got Kimo in the red as Ra. Ra on Mediterranean, not a fan. He'd have a better chance with the different god. But he's got to get his Ra win at some point, so you might as well try now, and if not, get it the next game. But then he's got to rely on something else for his last game. Because remember, in this tournament, you can't reuse your god that you have won with. So Nullus, this is his last, or for Kimo, this is his last Egyptian that he can win with, which is Ra. And his Pharaoh is Flame Jr. For this fine game. So we will see how Flame Jr. runs the nation. Building a second dock. This tells me that Kimo will be aging up somewhat slowly. He also has 4 on Hunt. You only need 3 on Hunt to be able to continue villager production. And then you can kind of send 1 to Wood sooner. We've got the Scout from the Greek player getting the Hunt on the map. Hello, Lord Touchbeam. How are you doing? I don't know why you're trying to calm out Raptor. Like that. It's rude. You may ask, what do you do as Zeus in this situation? Well, Zeus, it's pretty standard. Zeus just advances to heroic or classical age around 430 and will fight the water, win the water, transition to land, win with some sort of mythic timing push on land. To me, Zeus in this matchup has a pretty strong advantage here against Ra. You may then ask, well, if Zeus has such an advantage, why would Kimo play Ra? Well, Ra is Kimo's best god. He needs a win with Ra or something, with Ra at some point. Might as well try this game. What him going Ra on this map tells me is that he doesn't think he can win with a different god on this map. So he is going to try to win with Ra here and waste Medit, and then hopefully win with a non-Ra god on Nullus's next home map, maybe. But the question is, oh, this Aurochs is coming to a pretty awkward spot. Okay, he ran right past. That's good. You gotta be careful where you kill your Hunt, because it can really ruin things. So yeah, getting a monument to villagers. So Kimo is doing what I would say is the best chance of Ra winning, which is to not fight water at all, because you will not win against Zeus. It is to grab town centers in classical age and basically just make this a booming game. Oh, an awkward spot for the priest to stand. And try to delay the game to the point where the boom becomes strong enough to survive. And Mediterranean is one of those maps where there is the potential to delay. But against Zeus, it's hard. because Zeus, say if you're the Egyptian and you wall up on both sides and you get real secure, Zeus can just use Underworld and skip all of that and attack one other side or something, and and Ra isn't going to have the resources to properly defend and wall up on both sides. So Underworld is kind of defeats that. But there's still a chance at it. Now Kimo's building he's going to need to get Shadoof, Husbandry, Plow, and he may have also done that as well because the scout was there. That's a tricky little thing there. So the scout was here, giving Nullus line of sight. Kimo went and put, it looked like, everything on wood to make it seem like he was going hard on wood, making maybe Nullus think, he's going boat fight. So kind of diversionary tactics here, but you can see with all this gold that Kimo is going to be grabbing town centers and trying to delay long enough to be able to win on land. It's tough though. So for Nullus here, you maybe make 8 boats. Maybe not even that many. And then grab town centers as well. And having water along with town centers will allow the Zeus to outboom the Ra, reach Mythic Age, get that huge timing, early Mythic Age, Forge of Olympus attack. And it's tough, but this is Ra's best shot. Would have maybe have liked to seen... Oh, okay, here's your dock. This dock's kind of pointless here. Ooh, get the bolt on the Pharaoh just to slow this down. That does slow down the town center build substantially. If you were to ask me if that bolt is worth it or not, I would say it is worth. Because the more you can delay the beginning of the Ra boom, the more time it gives you exponentially later. We have a shifting sand where Odysseus gets put into the box and just him. It's a bit annoying, but shifting sands for one Odysseus isn't really super fantastic either. Would like to see these boats being used here. 5 boats is not enough. You need more than that. But yeah, if you just park each boat on a fishing spot, you can force them all to be idle. I don't know why they were down here for so long. Wonder if Kimo tries to do a fish attack at this point. I just don't think it's ever worth it. You want to come to you need to come here and get married to be able to come to America. All right, Flame Jr. the second is back, and there we go. Now everything is forced idle. Would like to see a few more fishing boats here for the Greek player. I mean, you could put a dock here and get +4. We have rain has been used, and Kimo will be going up to heroic age. Only 2 town centers. In this matchup, I've played this matchup before because I'm a Ra main. I've actually done this strategy and got a win against Scotia with this before, so it's a potential to win doing this. It's at a disadvantage, but in that game I got 3 town centers. 2 town centers. I just don't see how Kimo would be able to keep up with the economy with only 2 town centers. Although Nullus is making it somewhat easier on him by not getting on these fish over here. Because yeah, you plop a dock down here and +4 fish pretty easily. Nullus getting some farms. And now grabbing that town center. We did see Nullus get per sign. Husbandry, plow, pickaxe. Husbandry, pickaxe, hand axe, per sign. Fish are trying to fish. Oh, he didn't finish this wall though. Additionally, having water superiority on this map is big because of the ability to... This town center's in water range for the siege boats, as is this one. So that does make it very, very important for water superiority. So that's another avenue for Nullus to win, as well as just to reach Mythic Age first and get those siege boats out right away, and get Kimo down 4 to 2 town centers, or 3 to 2 town centers. And at that point, would Kimo even be able to ever get back to 3 town centers? Likely not. Building a market, so Kimo is going up likely all the way to Mythic Age here. Nullus getting a little bit of buildings up here for some damage. Nullus gotta be careful though. Because alternatively, Kimo, especially with this back gold mine, which Nullus does know about, Kimo does not. He did not scout this gold mine. That is huge. Not knowing this gold mine is here. Because Kimo could potentially, that's what he's doing, just do what I was kind of talking about the Zeus doing, is just age up to Mythic Age, get his boats, and then come and attack. Yeah, the woodchoppers may eventually, I don't know who's building this storehouse though. Killed a few villagers here, and this was a very slow wall up by Nullus. Nullus needed to wall this up sooner. Nullus is, oh, this bird, if Kimo knew, if he only knew about that down there, he could, just out of line of sight too, could have gotten in on those villagers. And now Kimo's going to take the water with, does he have his upgraded cabinets yet? Not yet. 2, 3, 4. Maybe hold on to that locust for something a little bit better, because your 2 myth units are probably going to kill that many anyway. But any damage you can do, the better. Ooh, you don't want to lose your rock here, though. Oh no, that's gonna leave his 2 myth units out on an island down here. Ooh, Nullus coming at that town center again. This is a similar situation as last game. If we get masons in for Kimo, he's not getting masons. Masons would do more damage to keep this town, or would be more effective in keeping this town center up than fortified town center would. Masons is huge. Huge. And if I'm Kimo, I would have gotten this anyway. Masons is such a gigantic upgrade. Fortified town center 50% up. The town center is at 1,000 health. We have restoration being used. This is a very key push here because Nullus is sacrificing water at the sake of getting this. Fortified town center is such a slow technology too. I mean, look, if Masons would have come up first. Oh, it's gonna be close. Fortified town center will still get in. Gives an instant extra 700 hit points, and then Masons comes in with the more armor. This town center is not going to go down now. We needed a few more hoplites here in this. There weren't enough hoplites. Still killing a lot of villagers, which is very important because it is keeping Kimo's boom down. We can see that Kimo is now only at 56 villagers. I don't know if this town center is going to go down though. Yeah. And out they come. Nullus is now just forgetting about the water. So peculiar. So peculiar to do an all-in on the town center and just to forget about water. because here, keeping the water does more damage to your opponent than killing a town center. And I'm not a fan of this aggression either. The Age 2 aggression isn't the play in this matchup. So again, like last match, I would say that Nullus is just choosing the wrong strategy, and it's really affecting his ability or chances to win in this game, just like last game. Here we come back at the town center again. It wasn't repaired super high. These chariots just need to pick off yeah, there we go. Just aim at the hot plates. That'll be all he needs, because you got Masons. Mason's so big. It's not the hit points. It's the minus 20% hack damage, which is huge against the hot plate that does hack damage. Because what do we got? Zeus damage to buildings plus 100%, so 16 damage to buildings, but half that because of all that armor. It's not much damage anymore. And now we're not really killing villagers here. We're just unit versus units, which is okay for Kimo. And he's also getting sun-dried mud brick. I mean, look how open this is. There's nothing down there. Kimo getting his trade up. And yeah, I just have the reinforcing priests coming in that were apparently put on auto queue at some point. And Nullus is just throwing units away. He did damage. I mean, you can see even with Kimo having fish now, he's still down considerably in civilian units. So if Nullus can stop throwing units and age up here, you don't want to just stick in classical age forever. He needs to hit that heroic age. These priests are kind of a lot of heavy. That's a heavy population there. What is this? 16 population worth in priests? Yeah, if I'm Nullus here, I just fall back because Kimo's not going to do any damage. I mean, killing these priests and losing your army is just benefiting Kimo because he didn't want these priests anyway. So, just inefficient trades for Nullus, losing units over and over and keeping him forever in classical age, because he has an opportunity to win with mythic age timing with an underworld, but by continually taking these fights, he's just delaying his mythic age longer and longer and longer. Yeah, he's just never gonna hit it. Meanwhile, Kimo's getting more villagers and catching up. These priests just lobbing their stones. Boy, not knowing about this gold mine yet, though, that hurts Kimo. Not knowing it's there. These villagers are coming down. Kimo wants that gold mine. He's got plenty down here, though. I mean, he's still got this gold mine. He's on this gold mine. Does Nullus have his second upgrades, at least? Oh, see, this is another big thing, too. Nullus doesn't even have his second upgrades. It would have been far better for Nullus to get his second upgrades before even starting this attack. Did they pick these maps? Yes, it's my understanding they would have picked these maps. So this is Nullus's home map. And just peculiar play choice here. And yes, Kimo voluntarily went Ron Medit, but it's working out because Nullus is voluntarily fighting classical age forever. There's no reason to do it. Why can't players make decisions like this against me? The difference is that playing someone like Kimo puts you in a pressure stress situation that makes you make stupid decisions. Playing against someone like Chrono JJ doesn't put you under any pressure. So bad pathing here. Finally reached Heroic Age. Still working with those classical age upgrades. Kimo is like asking for all of his units to be killed by siege ships. Just asking for it. We got a Pegasus here for a potential underworld. Both of them have Pierce armor upgrades. The hoplites, I don't understand the building of hoplites here. There's nothing they beat. Just Hippocon and Toxodia. No hoplites. Hoplites just take too much food. Slow your age up down. What are the relics? Black Lotus. Villagers farm faster. Man, get that. And then Odin's Wand Temple units are cheaper. Here's the Manticore. This is a nice army composition without the hoplite. Well, we still got some hoplites in here. This Masons is just so important for buildings. Well, actually it doesn't help Migdal, does it? I'm not actually sure though that hoplites get their attack bonus versus unbuilt buildings. Or partially built. With the way it works. I don't think they do. Retreating back. Nullus is aging up Hephaestus. That should have been a while ago. He needs to get his economy upgrades. Okay, he finally got his second line. Except for irrigation. He needs to get everything. He needs to realize that water is king on this map. We've got 2 town centers in water range. Needs to get back on the water. That is so vitally important here. So vitally important. If he combos up like an underworld with siege boats coming over here, he can still get a 4-2 town center advantage. On the other hand, though, Kimo, if he combos up and just, well, he doesn't need to combo, just gets on the water, he can force Nullus to be defensive. But we'll see if the players realize that. Got a little bit of camels down here being annoying. Camels versus hoplites, not super good for the camel. And these ball of Toxoides will defend for a while. Siege, the siege units here aren't really a problem because what are they going to kill? Just some random buildings, doesn't matter. Prodromos get a bit of an attack bonus against the siege, so it's kind of nice to have them here. Now, the thing with Kimo, though, is right now he's kind of fighting pretty badly under population because he has 80 villagers, 18 caravans, and what, like 11 ship? So he's fighting down population quite a bit here. The mercenaries can kind of help out there, but okay, that mine is done. Alright, for those of you watching, what is the problem in this screen here? There's a problem. It's this priest. Well, it's not only just empowering with the priest, it's not empowering here. Delete the, you gotta empower that. Not only is it less efficient, it's the wrong market. There's a few that are still dropping to this, but yeah, it's, now you're being silly. Alright, get on the water! Get on the water! There are buildings in town center range. Very important ones. Wait, where's the mummy? There he comes, coming down here with his old crypt walk. Let's see him. It's a long way to go. Boy, he likes long walks along the beach though, doesn't he? Alright, get the Migdol down. How we going up here? Oh, man. I know it's very easy as the casual observer to know what to do. But all of these resources... So what's... Let's rewind. What's the whole point of this attack? It's to kill a town center, right? Because late game, it's... At this point, economy doesn't really matter because we've got a nice town center. We got a nice trade route. This doesn't really matter. The whole point of this is to get a population advantage, killing a town center. But far easier. These resources just put into a navy. You kill your town center. That's the play, not this. I saw Kimo is getting all the boat upgrades because he knows that as well. So Kimo just has to defend this for another 2 minutes. And get his boats out. Look, they're already coming. Kimo will kill this town center. It's not even upgraded at all. And he'll be just fine and dandy. Got Osiris down here to do what he needs to do on the bottom. And Kimo is in a commanding position. There is no reason a Ra should win this easily against a Zeus on Mediterranean. It's too bad, because Nullus has been playing very well lately, but this game, far more than last game, is just a perfect example of improper strategy. Now he's like, oh shoot, this, and it's too late. Too late. What does the underworld matter now when you don't even have, you're not gonna have the population do anything with it? Too late. And once this is done, I just don't see how Nullus is going to be able to attack anywhere. I mean, he's going to be down substantially in population. Well, it would help if this boat was shooting at this instead of the villager. Come on, Kimo. Okay, well, Kimo is very incompetently managing this. He had to start the one more shot. But it doesn't really matter because Nullus isn't pushing anywhere. There he goes. Kind of weird how these are just sitting here and not attacking. Yeah, towers are good. It is better when you have something built up on top of you like this, is to put up towers instead of docks. Probably not a fortress, because I don't know if fortresses still do that crazy damage to ships, but we've got siege. And if you can target the forts, let's see. Yeah, they get 500 plus 500 damage to ships too. Well, there were siege ships here, they're gone. And the constructing of this palace has really hurt Kimo here. And now he has a whole bunch of useless hammer ships, because what are they going to do? And wow, that's an oopsie. That is a big oopsie. Man. Yeah, hammer ships are just instant. What is their train time? Train time, 9 seconds. Yeah. Well, I'm a big 9 seconds versus 18, yeah. I really do think that a lot of players would get better if they stopped using auto queue on their military buildings, especially at this stage in the game. Because what happens when you just have auto queue on your buildings is you'll just be queuing units that you don't need on fronts that you don't need. I don't use auto queue on many units, many buildings at all. About the only thing I auto queue is siege, because, well, that's in late game, that's the most important thing anyway. But yeah, this blunder here by Kimo has allowed Nullus some breathing room here. Now he's still not winning, he's still behind, but this allows the game to continue. I mean, this game should have been over at that position here. Should have been over. Because there is a danger where if Nullus is danger for Kimo, if Nullus is able to stabilize here and get a really good underworld, which, well, this is funny. Kimo is anticipating the underworld coming, so he just has 3 siege towers sitting here. The thing is, though, if the underworld never comes, he has 9 population. That's just wasted right there in that spot. It's all about the sea right now. We have Kimo's almost matched in armory upgrades. He just does. Kimo has the last boat upgrade, and Nullus does not. Unfortunately for Nullus, this army here is a little bit of dead pop now. 3, 6, 9, 12. This is 15 population. That's really not doing a whole lot. Like, once these buildings are done, you probably just delete these units and put your wall up here, because these are just this is just heavy pop right here. They're not gonna do anything. You need, oh, he's running out. He only has 2 docks. Now the one time I hate this technology overall, because it seems like players get this technology first before others, and it doesn't normally do a lot. But it does help archers against ships. So in this situation, it's okay. And that's just that. So in the end, Kimo kind of allowed Nullus to come back into the game, but Nullus just too defensive. Really didn't have any position to come back from here. And well played to Kimo. I mean, Kimo did what he needed to do, other than this kind of blunder here that allowed the game to continue another 5 or 6 minutes. But Nullus just Nullus was just kind of lost in this game, it seemed like. It mentally breaks. Doesn't mentally break me. Yeah, this is not how the Zeus should turn out here. Well done by Kimo, but Nullus just not quite what he needed to do. But that's going to put us up into match point territory here. But the thing is with this game settings, because you can't repick a god that you won with, is that Kimo's going to have to start scraping the bottom of the barrel of his good civs to play with. Because Kimo has now won with every Egyptian and has also won with Oranos. So Kimo's going to have to win with a bit of a weird god pick here. So let's see. This is Nullus's home map. Kimo is Hades. Yes, it is a best of 9. There may or may not be 9 games. I was just supplied with 9 folders that may contain 9 games. Hello, KF451. Nice to see you. Cameron. Best of 9 is... That's a lot of games. But we are on game number 7. Tundra. I believe this is a picked map by Nullus. There may have been some more preset maps in this. I'm not sure. But Nullus is Tundra. He's got Odin against Hades. For Kimo. Kimo, I'm not seeing a ton of Greek play from him. However, Greek with the 2-town center meta is kind of simple. You don't really have to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. And Kimo, being a good player, should be able to do it well. This town center is kind of crappy. It doesn't protect much here. Yeah, Kimo does love the real estate gods. You are correct. This town center, we are not sure if it's good or bad yet. We have a relic, Nose of the Sphinx. He stacked that on to the Hades buildings already. They will never die. But the Odin here, his kind of play is to get on, I would say, age 3, a heroic age timing. With a nice frost to kind of get a huge advantage. Because going into Mythic, you don't really want to be Mythic against the Hades here. You also have the opportunity for the Hades, if the Hades doesn't want to do the 2-town center grab, is to be pretty aggressive. That's kind of been a little bit more of a common theme for the Hades against Norse, is to act like Zeus and do an Athena rush. But you've got the super strong archers instead of the building crushing hoplites. And so it's kind of an Athena rush where you're not looking at killing buildings, you're looking at killing economy, taking control of the map that way. So that might be what Kimo ends up trying to do here, potentially. Yeah, the best of 9, that's a lot of games. There certainly is a balance, whereas the host of a tournament, you want to have a lot of games because that benefits you, but you also want to keep it to a level where you're treating the players well. And sure, it's a hobby, but that's kind of, the players don't want it to be work. Otherwise, it's no longer fun. And a best of 9, I mean, people are in different stages of their life, I guess, but for like me, a best of 9 would be work, and I would not have fun playing it. I would never be able to play a best of 9. It would be like a 4-day match. But I understand it from the host view, is that you want a lot of games, but there's a fine line where you want it to be fun for the players, you want it to have good quality content and get a lot of games. So, what do you do? But yeah, best of 9 is a lot of games, but that's all right. Cereal, I grew up on cereal. Like, we talking like milk and cereal kind of deal, your breakfast cereal. Love cereal. My favorite cereal, I know you didn't ask me, you asked Sigma, but my opinion matters more. My favorite cereal is Waffle Crisp by Post. It is delicious. Honey Bunches of Oats is good. My kids love it. I enjoy it. But Waffle Crisp is the best. So a very early forest fire. Just to slow down the build there. Yeah, Cocoa Pebbles is good too. Cocoa Pebbles is good. The thing though now is that uh-oh. This is a big raid here, getting some hunt villagers dead. The thing is now though, with kids especially, don't really want to have those kind of cereals in because they are not healthy. You look at the ingredients on the side of the box and you see your daily intake of sugar is like one bowl is like 35%. That's not good. And especially for kids, that kind of ruins their appetite for other stuff. And for me, now, we've been so careful in limiting sugar, not only from the kids' diet, but also our diet, that like cereal like that, I can't eat anymore. Whereas a kid, like Lucky Charms, Trix, Coke or Fruity Pebbles, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, like that was all we had, and I ate gobs and gobs and gobs of it. But yes, I don't know how my teeth didn't fall out. At one point, I would eat an entire box of Apple Jacks. Because like they would barely fill you up. There's like so full of air and sugar. We grabbed a town center here. We, being Kimo, I guess. It doesn't give him a whole lot here. This is a... The concern for me, for Kimo, going forward, is what is he going to do to get his second gold mine? Cookie Crisp, too, yeah. All of those high sugar stuff. Like now we get pretty healthy stuff. We still get, I think the closest to unhealthy is like those honey, what was that? The honey bunches of oats or whatever it is. Not honey bunches of oats. Whatever you Sigma put in there. Here we are talking about cereal in the finals of a Age of Mythology tournament. But that's okay. Cereal is kind of cool. But yeah, Waffle Crisp. Or you have like the Cinnamon Toast Crunches of the world, or Golden Grams. I like Raisin Bran. Honey Nut Cheerios is good, but a lot of sugar. We got a nice raid just wandering through the base here. Cereal is expensive, but there are always sales if you're smart about it. Walgreens here in the United States often has pretty good sales on some of the main brand cereals. But yeah, I don't understand the people that go into like your normal grocery store and get a box of cereal for like $3.50. That's nuts. Nullus here, back to the game. Nullus is doing the right thing. Getting an army, putting some pressure on, aiming at a decent timing attack, heroic age. He is grabbing a town center, which is really greedy, but he can do that because he's Odin. I mean, the resource on a high hunt map for an Odin player that is able to do whatever he wants, the amount of resources he can get is insane. I mean, look at the difference here. Yes, Kimo's ahead in villagers, but Nullus right now has an army, is aging up, and is grabbing a town center. Ooh, Nullus needs to distract. This is what he's doing right now. This is well done by Nullus. He is distracting with this army because he does not want Kimo to come forward and see. But really here, Kimo, the two town center play likely is not the right strategy. You gotta go just for like an Athena push kind of a thing. Well, you guys are tall. I'm 5'11 and a half. I round up to 6 foot. That seems fair. Ah, he does get it. He also got the relic to give it more hit points as well. 1,500 gold left. I am not sure how Kimo will get to a second gold mine here. because Frost is so big. Frost is huge. Yeah, Kimo, you can see he's trying to get to this, but he can't. Nullus would probably, though, want to put up a couple walls over here with a unit so that Kimo can't just sneak onto one of the gold mines or all this hunt. I mean, look at all this hunt. I mean, not only would building the walls here secure the gold away from Kimo, it would also give Nullus some free reign to do some more hunting. We've got a ton of hunt in Nullus's base here. This is weird. So he ran out of wood. He ran out of hunt down here and has gotten all these villagers to wood. Probably needs to move these villagers to food and get it up here. And yeah, Kimo is trying to get some gold out of this mine before this runs out. Well, now you guys are talking about fitness. Let's be real. Every Age Mythology player is incredibly fit. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that Frost. I know he's wanting to do some sort of timing here. I mean, it's a good... I mean, the Frost will accomplish what it needs to. But likely, Nullus could have probably won this fight without having to use Frost and pushed Kimo off, and then had Frost in his pocket for later. So, this is the best situation for Kimo in this matchup, because now Frost has already been used, and maybe Kimo can come out later. But it's so hard to match the Odin here, though. Also, these throwing axemen kill the units that are not in the Frost. So units that are frosted have 99% armor. So every shot does 1 damage. We have restoration that'll probably get used coming out of this. Yeah, that Frost did not accomplish what it needed to. Don't even need to use restoration to defend this. Alright, nice to get this Raven over to the map hacks, the Odin map hacks. Dwarf as the first line of eco upgrades. This is the first line as well. Alright, the Raven has spotted this out. This is now when you send over a squad of Raiding Cavalry to come up here. We're getting Rhyme. That's the upgrade to make Frost Giants even stronger. Ooh, nice to slow down these hoplites so they're trying to come and defend. Okay, we have a restoration getting used here. This is a bit of a... Ooh, this is a low value restoration on this. I mean, the hoplite weren't even fighting. Just get restored on the way out. Restores the... This is a big fight here. Big decision here from Nullus to come raid. This raid was huge. Forces the hoplites over here to defend, and this is where the Norse mobility comes into play. As long as the... Oh. I was going to say, what you can do then at this point if you're the Norse is now that the hoplites are over here, you run all the way back over here and just absolutely demolish this position. Because the hoplites will be out of position, but you lost a little bit too many over there. But it looks like there's probably enough Huskarls. The Huskarls with their 50% pierce armor are huge. And there is no way for Greeks in Classical Age to deal with the upgraded Frost Giants. Plus 198 hit points. So we've got 798 hit points, 55% hack, 69% pierce. And it is not looking good for Kimo. It is looking very good for Nullus and us, because we're going to get to see another game after this. But yeah, it looks like Kimo is going to get gold starved here. One Frost Giant goes down, but they tank so much damage. Even with Ajax hacking away at this dude, I mean, he's still surviving so long. And yeah, Kimo is gold starved now. So, the Odin did what he needed to do. Very well done. This is a tough map to win against Odin on. Tough matchup. And yeah, once you start getting fights here, you can just auto-queue Frost Giants, and every time one dies, you can just replace it with another one. And the Greek can never get on the, never win a fight in heroic, classical age here. And that's it. GG, the Norse. A very quick win. And this is where Kimo's weakness comes into play a little bit, where he's really good with all the Egyptian. He's been playing Oranos and been playing really well with Oranos. But you need to win with 5 different gods in this tournament. And is Kimo going to try Hades? Is Hades going to be Kimo's way here? Is the upgrade worth it? I mean, if you're at population cap, it is. I mean, you would normally just get another Frost Giant, but if you don't have the population space because they cost 5 population, you might as well get the upgrade, you know? Because right now Nullus is at 130 pop. The order of the maps, to my understanding, they are picking the maps. The first map was a predetermined one, and every one after that has been loser picks. So now this next map, Kimo will pick. Let's take a look at the resources. You can see just how far ahead the Odin is. The only reason Hades kind of catches up there is because of the much early town center. But look, it takes a town center being grabbed 3 minutes sooner for the Hades to catch up in economy. It's just how crazy Odin's economy is on land. Or on High Hunt. So 4-3. Nullus needs to win 2 more games. Nullus still has Zeus he can win with. And he has already won with the other 2. So Nullus has an opportunity here where he can win with Zeus and Oranos. I predict that's what he'll be trying to win with. Zeus and Oranos. Kimo might just try Hades over and over and over. So we're going on to game number 8. Nullus needs to win this. We have Zeus versus Hades on Ghost Lake. So Kimo is Hades, just as I thought. So Kimo looks like is just trying, he's going for Hades now for try to get this last game. We have Nullus with Zeus. You know, if he's trying to win with Oranos and Zeus, I would have picked Oranos on this map instead of Zeus. I don't necessarily think Zeus gives much of an advantage here over the Hades. Right? You can maybe try some Centaur raids. Because of how wide open the map is and it's hard to raid. Especially with this hunt pack here is kind of precariously placed. There's not a whole lot. I mean, it would be kind of easy to get on this. We have not seen though. So Ghost Lake has a few different variations here as far as hunt. Your starting hunt pack can be one animal, or can be one pack or 2. Where's the other Aurochs? Did he kill it already? Where'd it go? Or did Kimo get lucky and get both of his Aurochs to spawn in the same spot? Because this could be 2 hunt packs close to each other. Yeah, this is rough for Nullus. Is he missing an Aurochs here? Or did he eat it? There's no way he ate it already. Okay, it's right here. So, wow, Kimo really won that. So what happened is, this was the variation where you get, each player got 2 starting hunt spawns. Kimo's starting hunt spawns were here and here. Close enough to look like one spawn. Nullus is starting hunt spawns here and over here. That's a huge difference. That is a situation where I would say that in the game, the map spawn can affect the game. Something like that. It doesn't seem like much, but in a game where timings matter and the timings that players reach age 2 can matter, having to run from this to down here without getting a second Aurochs is kind of big. And really the easy fix for that is to prevent these from spawning so close to each other. But the way map scripting works is you can have like constraints to where if one hunt spawn is here, the other one has to avoid it by certain X range, which would make it not spawn close enough to share a granary. So that would probably be something that should happen. The other thing to look at for Ghost Lake when we're talking about map spawns and map scripts is the secondary hunt. There can be 1 or 2 packs of secondary hunt, and this is a map with 2 packs of secondary hunt. One down here, one here for each player. So we got a pack here and a pack over here. The fact that there's 2 secondary hunt packs is really good for Nullus because it gives the rating centaur a little bit more value because there's more value in taking map control. Because that's what the centaurs do, is they give map control to the Zeus. But he's going up Athena, so it doesn't matter anyway. Getting this relic for plus 5% archer damage. That's nice. Oh, Ajax is trying to get it, but he's too slow. Yeah, with Nullus being a good Oranos player, I just don't know why you wouldn't choose Oranos on this map. Yeah, I'm with you, Sigma. The Athena is a weird pick. Yes, Restoration Underworld is the play for both players. However, Restoration Underworld, look at that, he just ran right through the berry. Restoration Underworld is better for Hades in this matchup. So that's weird that we have the Athena age up here. Because what does it do for the Zeus? We have Bolt from the Zeus. Zeus can bolt something and be fine. You can't Hoplite Rush the Hades, though. Bolt's that. He's gonna regret, though, not seeing this Minotaur run across the map. Oh, Odysseus is coming out. Okay. Resto Bronze Storm. Alright, why is he running? Just attack. There you go. Kind of stinks to lose that Minotaur like that. And Kimo has messed something up. Because Kimo aged up later. Or Kimo aged up faster, but is grabbing his town center a lot later. And this is where I say that I don't know if Kimo is super great with Zeus or with Greek, because this is some peculiar decision making here. And Kimo is a very slow town center and is going to lose. Well, you restore this. Restore. No! Before your Minotaur goes down, you restore this. If you were Nullus here, you still restore. No, you don't now. If he would have forced out another resto, but this is so good for Nullus, and it didn't need to be. I think you're right, Lord Touch Me, is that this Athena age up for Kimo really scared him, and he wasn't sure what he wanted to do. And he grabs his town center, but so much later, he has 4 villagers down, and that is huge. I tell you what, Boyd's onto something. You go Athena against Zeus against Hades, and it makes the Hades player do questionable plays. I still would have loved to have seen a restoration here for Nullus on that Minotaur and the weak Jason. It would have forced a restoration for Kimo, but it would have been in the value of Nullus. but that's okay. Nullus got what he wanted from that trade. I mean, look at the difference right here with like resources in the bank, villagers. Very good for Nullus. Just a slow town center grab. Neither player bold enough to get on their second hunt packs. Farming already. Yeah, a lot of goats. Getting in on the farm action already. No farming, no plow though. Yeah, I don't know. Can Kimo win with Greek? He needs to have a fourth Egyptian to play. Training a few units here is Kimo. He's going to need to get value out of them really fast. There's just so little to push. Like, where does Kimo push with his army? I mean, you got all the villagers here. You got a nice safe wood line here. Gold mines behind the base. This wood line is pretty safe. You got a gold mine here. I think Kimo's only spot that he can really get damage in is to sit on these military buildings while he has the military advantage. And just kind of waste the buildings, basically. So if he can come and sit right here, this will be alright for him. Ooh. I hear baby stretching, which means he needs his pacifier. We'll just sit here, see what happens. For some reason he's trying to kill this house when he can just walk right through. My cute baby boy, just sleeping. It's not about the house. You tell me what it's going to be about. It's about sending a message. So when Kimo first showed up here, he had the military advantage. He is now behind in military because while he had the advantage, he spent it all attacking a house. I mean, he sent a message. He did not like that house. Nullus just does a 2-town center mythic here. By the time... Oh, that is a message. You are right, though. Yeah, when you're standing in the urinals and there's an empty one, and you could go on the other side, but nah, you picked the one right next to the other guy. Yeah, that is sending a message. But what I was saying is, by the time this town center benefits Kimo, it'll be too late. Nullus... Oh... Ooh. Risky play here. I think the easier play here for Nullus to win would have been to just stay 2 town centers and go mythic. We're gonna see double resto here. Yeah. These heavy Hippocon? I don't know if it's worth it right now when you only have like 3 Hippocon. We have better archers for the Hades. We'll start having shades come in. I don't know though if he will win. Oh, these villagers probably should have just kept building. Okay, they'll force him away anyway. Kimo could turn and fight this. I don't think he's gonna keep the town center down though. Oh, this is a close fight here. Same population. Nullus is floating a ton of resources right now. I just don't know if Kimo quite has the reinforcements he needs to stop this. And no, he doesn't. Yeah, that was touch and go there. That was very close. The wave of shades didn't quite come in soon enough. Actually, not very many shades at all got trained. Were they going somewhere else or just a little bit of bad luck? What's funny is that both players have been so scared to grab the hunt because of potential pressure on it. But both players could have hunted because neither player has ever checked this side of the map. So kind of funny. That fight was certainly in Kimo's benefit overall. Really probably should have just been Nullus going mythic with 2 town centers. Where are the gold mines? So, good question. This is the low gold mine spawn for Ghost Lake. There are 2 extra gold mines per player. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. So 4 gold mines total. It's not a lot. Easy to pressure if you need to, especially once this back one runs out. Still 5,000 gold in it. Like once these 2 run out, your next gold mines are these 2 way up here. So it's, if you're not ready for that switch, that transition, it'll be a tough day for that player. Nullus, more resources. We both players have reached full villagers now, but we can see Nullus is considerably ahead, just courtesy of that initial town center and not losing so many vills at the second town center. Nullus needs to be aging up here, though. There he is. He hit the age up with Apollo. Very important, and it's something like Underworld is very important in a map like this, where important parts of the map are on opposite sides. You've got your town centers on the left for Nullus, and you've got your next important gold mines on the right. So the Underworld's very important in order to be able to connect the 2 locations. However, the Hades will be able to match that as well, so it's not really going to give a specific advantage. We saw a lot of Hippicons here die. I think they must have been low hit point Hippicons, because they seemed like they died pretty quickly. Well, you gotta watch your archers though in these fights, because if they do a little kiting, they'll shoot and do a lot of missed arrows. Look at all these missed arrows here. They've missed more than they've hit. There we go. Now we got Toxicity on Toxicity Violence, which is a bad trade for Nullus. This has not been a good fight for Nullus here. He kind of aged up, but on the back end didn't have enough units, and now is kind of in that dangerous spot where it just becomes a repetitive trickle of units to their doom instead of like building up to one large mass. But with Chiron almost dead, probably the Mana Core will be able to hold this. Mana Core, well, the Mana Core even survives a long time to Chiron anyway. But yeah, no hero now. And this is not where you want your you don't want your... Boy, if we get a nice splash attack... Oh, died. Would have been nice to get one more special here. But I think that Manticore actually did enough to solidify the spot. We've got Apollo coming up soon. We have a lack of gold for Nullus. And nice little side builds here by Nullus. This is very important considering this gold mine now only has 3,000 gold left, and Nullus does manage to hold. That was, again, a pretty close hold there where Nullus maybe just not quite ready for that pressure. I still would like to see Nullus bounce up to the Mythic Age here pretty soon. Gotta watch out for the shades coming in. Oh, very good to send the Manticore up here. Very good. And wow, Nullus is starting to take some bad fights over and over again. He does have this. This is like half of the Hades up benefit a little bit. Plus 5% pierce damage compared to the Hades 10%. So it makes it a little bit closer in these kind of, essentially it's a mirror fight here. Yeah, let's see some Peltas come in. This is some bloodshed here. Gotta watch those Toxotes shooting a Hippocon that's moving. Let's try to have at least one Hippocon kiting around and stuff, but it's hard to keep on top of all of that. We got up here. Alright, yeah, gotta send a hero over to get on the Manicore. How are we doing for eco upgrades? Second line, kind of. Kimo already has the third quarry. Nullus again is a little bit slow in getting all of his upgrades. Also upgrading medium infantry. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if Hippocon or Hoplite Toxote is better than Hippocon Toxote here. I don't think it is. Copper shields coming in for old Kimo. Where's that hero? Need that hero. Nullus and his slow economy upgrades are again dragging him down a little bit. This 480 hit point tank here. Okay. Probably delete this. Yeah, there you go. Deleted it. A little bit of a slow underworld here for Kimo to respond. I think Kimo's just... That was a very important timing because it was when this underworld ran out. It's an awkward underworld positioning. So they both have underworlded to a gold mine. Kimo is getting a bunch of upgrades, whereas Nullus is aging up Hephaestus. Heavy Toxotes is an important upgrade here as well. But I'd like to see maybe a few of those strong Hades buildings get put up. This is kind of an awkward though, because both players, Underworld is on the opposite sides of their base. So like, Kimo is here, and then Nullus has this little stronghold right here, and we've got heavy versus heavy. Nullus might be losing this position. Yeah, see, he's lower pop. Wow, does Kimo come back with this? With just some nice pressure. 70% up. Plenty though. There is though, once Plenty Vault comes in, as well as the fact that Nullus has a trade route already, Nullus doesn't necessarily need this gold mine anymore. Because Plenty Vault will get him a lot of the gold that he needs. The Colossus coming through will be a great tank for Nullus, so it'll take him a little bit of time to get there. We have a random Prodromos. Yeah, if he can get this up. Yep. Very important palace here. I mean, Nullus still does want to hold on to this position, though, because if he can get control of this gold mine, Kimo's not in a position where he can afford losing it. Forge of Olympus coming through. Nullus might just have to kind of sack this, though, and wait. I don't know if he wants to lose all these villagers, though. He's lost a ton of villagers. Probably would have been worth it. This should have been coming up here sooner. Like, Nullus would have responded with the pressure of these units coming down by sending like a handful of units up here, or just the Colossus to eat the gold mine, that would have been big. Instead, Nullus kind of got Nullus didn't have any sort of counter to this attack. And now Kimo's got an underworld and Nullus doesn't. We have Artemis coming in for Kimo. There's still a pretty big timing window, but this is where Nullus has to stay back, not fight until all of these armory upgrades come in. He had that situation against the same. Well, it was the last time I streamed. It was the same tournament, same match. In that it was when Nullus was playing against Kimo's Isis on Anatolia, kind of similar, where Nullus went up and started getting his armory upgrades, but just kept taking fights and kept losing. And Nullus deleted his markets up here because of this random villager building a wall. Didn't need to. And now has a pretty awkward trade route. I'm worried for Nullus. He took a very strong position early on, and Kimo has kind of come back with some key timing of aggression. If he could kill this underworld, that'd be pretty big. Wall. Get on this underworld. How are the upgrades looking? It's slow to get these upgrades. They're coming. Kind of stinks to lose your big meat shield here. But the Helipolis here is so valuable. Why? Why the infantry? Like, really, you can just go pure Helipolis? Toxodi. The infantry just die. And get these. There you go. Get on the underworld. Come on, get it. There's nothing here. Get this on the underworld. Who cares? There's an earthquake to be used. Do you use it here? Does it do enough? There's too many buildings. Earthquake won't finish this off. Kimo's play here is to go Titan. If he can afford it. He's taken... Now that the armory upgrades are in for Nullus, though, Kimo's starting to lose... Well, Kimo's got some good upgrades already, though. Yeah, Kimo probably should try to get a Titan. Ooh, getting raided on here, though. Left this one stable. These guys are kind of unprotected, too. Kimo's trade route, not super strong yet. Artemis the wrong choice. It's not the wrong choice if it wins him the game. It's a very diplomatic answer. Hephaestus wouldn't have gotten him so much value because he was already getting his armory upgrades. The Plenty Vault is nice too. The Plenty Vault really over time is pretty significant though. It's an extra 9 villagers, so it's like a extra 9 population in a way, but it's like a more of a utility extra because you're also getting resources from it. But Kimo with the heavy, or the champion now. The only way I think Artemis here is a good move is if Kimo goes Titan and uses Earthquake to insta-kill the enemy Titan. But I don't know if Kimo will ever have the resources for that. He's a little bit wide open up here. Man, if those Hippocon would come up here, there's a lot of villagers to kill. And this push is scary. A lot of Helipolis. Helipolis are hard to take out. Helipolis are the army-destroying tank of Greek. Yeah, see, Kimo got a few upgrades I don't think he should have gotten. If he would not have gotten heavy... Did he get heavy or champion infantry? He got champion infantry. What is that? 500... Yeah, 500 wood, 400 gold. If you look at Kimo right now, instead of this upgrade, get the Titan upgrade. Instead of Shafts of Blade, get the Titan. Get the Titan. And then you have an Earthquake that you can flatten the enemy Titan Gate with. And that's where you get ahead here as Kimo. Not having the Plenty Vault over time is going to hurt. These are idle. I would love, from Kimo, a side build of archery ranges. A couple towers, archery ranges. Get some Gastrophides and a little bit of a tower push. This is wide open. Kimo's way to win here is defend this. Oh, Bellerophon. He's almost dead, though. Oh, the Polar Bears and Bellerophon is going to end this. Turn and fight. 32 damage. Oh, the Polar Bears. Bellerophon is single-handedly saving Nullus right here, because this side build would be so scary because there's nothing up here. There goes the Polar Bear getting a few slaps in. That was big. Thank you, Cameron, for the 3 months. That was big stop. Bellerophon just... Polar Bear killed. These Polar Bears are grumpy. Whacking everything. Oof. Really needed a side build up here. It's just so wide open. 42 caravans, yeah. Nullus has done this a few times in this series, which is way over economize, to the point where he's fighting under pop every fight and just keeps sending units to their doom over and over. Not a lot of forward buildings right here either. There's actually, other than, instead of the Titan Gate snipe, there's a danger here where if Kimo kills a few more of these buildings, if Kimo gets probably these 3 buildings, Earthquake will finish this off and Kimo wins. Nullus is kind of inexplicably behind. It's really just his crappy trade route here. He got the new market up. I think Kimo wins with this push right here. Or I think Kimo wins right there. Wow. Nullus kind of just like fell apart over like a minute. That trade route must have really been hurting him, because was he trading from here to there? That's not much. What is it? What was he getting? 34 gold a trip. And what's funny is that Kimo never really even came up here to fight. He just built up a few walls, and then Nullus just like instantly changed his market trade. But wow, that's Kimo getting a win with Hades, and the way that game started looked so good. For Nullus, Kimo, I mean, it's easy to point out mistakes and say Nullus should have had this, but Nullus is playing a very good player, and while you can say, oh, Nullus made mistakes, you can also say on the other side that Kimo played well. And outside of that early mess up with the delayed town center, Kimo had time and time again good aggression and kept taking some good fights. He had a really nice trade with the underworld here. He took some nice fights here. And ultimately, Nullus just losing this side of the map and losing his trade route really hurt Nullus, and Kimo ended up winning without ever having to use Earthquake. But like, yeah, this eco difference here. I'm having a hard time understanding it, because Nullus had more resources the whole game. I mean, he's pretty consistently 4,000 ahead. killed more units. I guess there are shades. But lost the game. Where did those extra resources go? Really weird. You know? How can you have well, I mean, with the shades, it's probably an even kill death ratio. But how can you have an even kill death ratio? At the end of the game, have collected what, almost 7,000 more resources, and still lose. But yeah, this should have been a win for the old Nullus there, given the start. I mean, just ahead in economy, but yeah, Kimo played well. So that is the series. I was not quite thinking that Kimo would win that game that way, but Kimo ends up taking these best of 9 series 5-3. And Nullus never did get his win with his Zeus. He lost a few times with his Zeus. So Zeus was kind of his kryptonite. He just couldn't win with Zeus. And yeah, well played to Kimo. Again, and maybe sometimes I tend to do this a little bit too much in my more analytical kind of analytical analysis. But that's kind of repetitive. The analysis of the game, it's easy to point out all the mistakes and stuff. But on the flip side, mistakes can't be made unless the opponent is doing well and capitalizing on that. So well played to Kimo, and really well played Nullus as well. I mean, anytime you get to the finals of a tournament,